sat through the debates, the seminars. This is the workshop. This is your chance now to ask a question, to see if we can give you the right answer, whatever. Every answer will be honest from this particular stage. We don't want you to be going home on Emirates on Monday morning and saying, why didn't I ask that question? So if you want to put your hand up and ask a question, Lara and I will do our very best to answer it for you. We're going live around the world on Yas TV. There's no editing here. It's not a recording. We are live. And also people are watching on the World Wide Web, the Sheikh Mansoor Festival.com. So it might be morning in America, evening in Australia, but it's coming up to 1:15 here in Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates. Lara, I'd like to start by saying, first of all, thank you to you, Sheikh Mansoor. It is an incredible occasion, this. You have worked so hard. And the feeling I'm getting back from the floor is the past couple of days, I think we've taken this a stage further. And I presume that is your aim, to keep on improving, improving, improving.
First, Tomo, it's thanks to His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed, which we think we all need and own a very big clap for him, saying thank you from our hearts. And of course, Sheikha Fatima Bint Mubarak, who has given every single jockey today, even the professionals, a chance to go worldwide and discover the world. Every single jockey here is the concern of the festival of His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed. Today we are the only festival in the world who are very supportive for jockeys, because His Highness' vision and initiative is to make sure jockeys are safe, are good, and we are embracing all the world with taking care of those jockeys, but they should take care of themselves first. This educational training has been progress since we started it. If you see the logo behind us, Tomo and I, this logo, we put it on purpose. It's not ears. Ears does not exist anymore. We started the first conference for training and education with ears conference and education. And look now how we grew, because there's a system that has been put for us through the directives and initiatives of His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed for his own festival, to have a solid base and to grow. When we started years, it was a great initiative first at the beginning, because it was few countries. And now, IFHRA, the International Federation of Horse Racing Academies, for its third year, has been conducted and created for all of you. In IFHRA, we had new members coming in. We're growing. But if we didn't have this solid base, we cannot grow. They will say, how you are growing and you are maintaining. Maintaining is because we have a solid base. Because once we have started all of this, we are working through the directives and initiatives of His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed, who has supported his vision, has given us and supported us as a team with all of you to make sure we grow bigger even and stronger, and more countries to come in, and even more countries to have Arabian racing. It's you who is the future. We can help you to grow, but if the jockeys will not help themselves, then how can we do all? You cannot put all the burden on us, and then you are not doing what is required from you. One hand does not clap alone. It needs two to clap. So can we have the jockeys standing up? All jockeys, even the professionals, even you, Julie Cron.
Well, Pat Buckley is standing up.
There's lots of jockeys who did not come. We have 150 jockeys. Those jockeys are not even 50 jockeys, Tomo. So this is how we all start. We can have fun, enjoy, but you need to know the timing is important. If you don't have a watch in your hand, the watch can be in your mind. But time is money for all of you, because you are the future. You can say, okay, how can I give an advice from a professional to an apprentice or an amateur? The professional has to be also on time. As he goes to the race and be on time, professional jockeys should be the inspiration for those young jockeys. So we will all clap for all of you, and we have a surprise for whoever now is here in today.
Really?
So please, stay standing, and the girls will have your names inside.
And what is the prize?
Because you deserve to be distinguished today.
So everybody who's standing will get right.
No, you can sit, Tomo. Every single jockey who is standing will have a very nice watch tonight.
Do you say a watch?
We will call the names one by one for those jockeys. And they will receive a very nice, it depends what is his watch, it can be any kind, it's wrapped.
Is it a Rolex?
No, no,
Oh,
Rolex will be for the winners. We have 150 jockeys, we need to spend the money on races, no, Tomo? Okay guys, please, before you leave, now we can sit and we can continue. Every single person write their names, and please give it to the guys, to the promotion girls. We'll have a ball, and at night we'll make sure that every single jockey will have his own watch, gifts from the festival, because you have come to the workshop, you have come to the last session, which is the most important session. Who did not come? He did not get enough education today. Media is very important for you.
What about the people who aren't jockeys, who have come here today?
I cannot tell you everything.
All right. Well, I'm trying.
You're wasting our surprises, because
Okay.
everybody who came here will not leave just like that from Abu Dhabi. Because this is your second home. And when you go to your home, you are greeted by your family. And we will not let you leave without having a nice thank you from all the Festival of Sheikh Mansoor, from Abu Dhabi, the capital of the world, and your second home, to all of you.
Thank you.
So, Tomo.
Should we get down to business?
Yes,
on.
let's talk business.
Come on, guys, let's have some questions from you, because you're the people who are here. We want you to ask the questions that we're going to try and answer. What can we do to improve the breed, the training, whatever you want to talk about? We have, let's see, please put your hand up high, wherever you are, and we will come to you, because this is your chance to put us on the spot. We have the promotion girls standing by now with a microphone either side. Just put your hand up and ask us the first. We have a question coming in here from this lady with a hand up here. Would you please tell us your name, where are you from?
Hi, I'm Nora from Ireland, and it isn't actually a question, but I'd just like to say thanks to Lara and to everyone. I think this conference has been absolutely brilliant this year, and I really enjoyed yesterday. I thought yesterday was absolutely fantastic, hearing from Julie Crone. She's an absolute character. It was brilliant to meet her. And it was really educational. And again today with all the guys talking about media studies and how to present yourself and how to talk, you know, there was a lot to be learned, and we're really grateful for you bringing us here and teaching us all of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nora. Julie Crone is incredible. She's a living legend. Let's see where the next question is coming from. Just please put your hand up. We're looking for you, and you can ask any question
Because if you don't ask questions, I'll make you try to ask the question.
Yes, you won't get a prize unless you ask the question.
No, it's not the prize, Tomo.
We have a doctor come.
Phil Pritchard from the Amateur Jockeys Association. Again, thanks Lara and His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed. 4 years ago I stood up and hopefully contributed to the success of the event by involving John Moores University at Liverpool. And they've done tremendous work over the last 3 years in hopefully giving advice to the jockeys on how to make weight. On our first study, we also involved the mental well-being of jockeys, and it was touched upon again this morning, what jockeys have to go through, you know, what happens in the press and whatever. But during our study, we found that 75% of jockeys showed signs of clinical depression, and in fact, 2 of the 20 jockeys that we studied would have been termed suicidal. We've made tremendous inroads on the weight management side of things, and I just wondered if Lara had any idea how we might take the mental side a little further.
The mental side, thank you for this beautiful question. The festival has added someone very devoted but holistic. For all the jockeys, if you don't know, can we have my dagger stand up, please? My dagger is a Reiki master, and she will be doing the workshop for all the apprentice jockeys on Saturday. She will be a guide for the jockeys every single race. And this is how we want to work it holistically and not psychologically. All are great, because every single jockey do not think he is facing anything. He is quite very good. He doesn't know that he is going to suffer from his weight loss and his sauna or flipping or Turkish bath, like he stayed 3 days in Turkish bath to lose weight. So all of these need holistically somebody to direct them in the right way. Now there are so many things in science that is the new trend. The new trend is that you need to make him feel good with himself before you make him think that he is sick. So you have the expert. She will be your expert for this year and next year. Any girl or apprentice jockey traveling with His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed Festival to go and any race of Mama Fatma's races in the world, she will be the one who will assess every single jockey before entering the race. Thank you, May.
Brilliant. Well done. Superb. We have another question coming in now. Madame.
Je tiens à remercier le docteur Abdallah.
I would like to thank Dr. Abdallah for having dedicated this great place to us, and this is something extraordinary. We just discussed suicides and other problems. We need, first of all, the jockeys need to be treated nicely and to have people who stand beside them. But Madam, what can we do? How can we contribute? Can when we have a fund for jockeys when they are injured, when they suffer problems? How will we contribute? We will go back home happy, satisfied for having had fun and visited Abu Dhabi, but this is an important issue for the young people. They are our children, they accompany us with our horses. I think we should have a fund. In which country should this fund be? And I personally am ready to be the first to contribute to this fund.
Et vous, Derek, merci pour votre livre.
And thank you, Derek, for that.
C'est bien d'avoir une caisse.
Marie-Ange, it's a good idea to have a fund.
I will answer after in English, or you can just put the headset. Non. Moi, je parle avec vous en français.
D'accord.
La caisse est importante.
The fund is important, but what is more important
c'est que tout le monde parle, mais pas tout le monde fait.
That everybody talks, but not everybody translates their contributions to action.
C'est pas la première fois qu'on parle des caisses.
It's not the first time we talk about the possibility of having a fund, but how many people will help, will contribute to the fund.
Que, je sais, si elle est faite, chaque pays, on a parlé des pareils.
And every single time in every country we talk about a fund. In the regional meeting of IFRA we discuss this repeatedly. Whenever there's an issue or jockeys have had injuries, we always discuss what can be done. But if you establish a fund now, how many countries will be able to always contribute? You personally is ready to help. Many are ready to help on an individual basis.
Aujourd'hui, ce qui est bien de faire,
today, it would be good if you were to help already the jockeys that are among us by giving them advice, by standing by their side and accompanying them. I hope that we will not see any more accidents, but accidents might happen at any time to any jockey. So the most important thing is for us all to understand that jockeys are as important as the horses, then it is very important to give them the attention they need before they ride. We have to make sure they have a good body protector and a good helmet.
Oui, bombe.
La bombe sur la tête. C'est ça.
To protect their heads.
Ça, c'est très important.
Oui.
That's very important.
C'est difficile un peu de diriger une caisse.
It's a bit difficult to manage a fund because we're talking about many countries, 86 of them represented here.
Elle n'est pas très faisable.
I don't think that's a very practical idea.
Sans les jockeys, j'existe
I would like to say that without the jockeys, I would not exist. Yes, and without the jockeys, we wouldn't be able to do anything.
On peut pas même avoir des champions.
Without the jockeys, we wouldn't even have champions. I am quite thankful to the jockeys. Let us clap to the jockeys,
who didn't
please.
quite understand. On dit
And you understood?
Ah oui.
Ah oui.
Très bon.
Okay, the only thing that we were talking about
Yes.
is a fund case for box for accidents. The fund, no, it's not funding. It's like.
Yes, yeah, for the doctor carries. No.
Voilà.
Yeah.
No. We're talking something else here, Heidi. We went too much now, extreme. No insurance here. We're talking about if like something for jockeys worldwide to help them if they are injured. The importance here, it's very nice to say, okay, we'll do a box, an account for this, like a box, something for them. It's not easy. Yeah, but it's not easy. You have 86 countries, doctor. And today, many will help. but you have many countries. We cannot come and help one jockey in one country and forget the other who is suffering in another country. So what is more important is if they take care of the real jockeys that are here and make sure that these jockeys are well taken care of, because unfortunately, I don't know how many trainers are here in this in the place. Can the trainers, any trainer stand up? Mm-hmm. Any trainer, all the trainers.
Yep. This one's from
Please,
Cyprus,
can we have the camera on the trainer?
from Holland, from the UAE, from France, and I might have missed out one or two.
Okay. I have a question for the trainers. First, can we have Karen, for example?
Karen
Can you give
Vanderbos.
her, please, the mic?
Karen Vanderbos. By the way, can I tell you something about Karen Vanderbos?
Yes, we have to celebrate tonight for Karen.
It's her birthday.
Happy birthday,
Big round
Karen.
of applause, Karen.
We will sing for her at night, because she'll be more happy when she sees the fashion show.
Oh, so will we.
It's the fashion night tonight, Karen. My question to you. No, I need the trainers to stand up. Anna, you also are training. My question to you. First thing, and really, answer from your heart to all of us who is listening. When you're training your horse, you choose your jockey. First thing that comes, which is your more attention to, is the horse or the jockey?
The horse.
Okay. And for you, Bill? And for you also, from Sweden? Maria?
Horse.
Horse. And you, Veronica?
Horse.
Okay. And you?
Both, especially.
You, especially the jockey?
Both, actually, but especially.
Both, he's saying.
Now you're talking from your heart. Okay, good. I understand. Good.
Especially subversive.
Just quickly, can we pass that microphone
Okay.
to this gentleman? Because it's a very interesting point, and I'm
Yes,
sorry to
really.
interrupt. But this gentleman wanted to say something because he told me outside. He comes from Cyprus.
Now let's talk about something else and answer this question, and
Good
then we
call.
go to something else.
Good
else.
call. Okay.
Yes, we don't jump to the second question before we didn't finish. We want to come to breaking point here. Remy, what do you think of? Yes, see?
Horse again. He's
Horse
thinking of the
again.
horse.
Those jockeys,
Yes.
when they don't win. The first thing they do, the trainers, you didn't listen to my thing.
Blame the jockey.
You didn't just take my advice, isn't it? So we blame them. This is why they are always in stress. See? We really also need to help. You want Marie-Ange to help? Start with your trainers to help them morally, mentally. You know, you need to give them a good word. Even though maybe he did wrong, you're upset, you didn't win. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't him riding your horse, who will ride your horse? No one. But always the blame comes on the jockey himself. This is why most of the problems they take is because they suffer from this stress that they
Yes.
take and the burden they are having on their shoulders.
Good call.
So, Veronica, you were a jockey before you were a trainer. Okay, you are a very good example to give us a straight opinion now.
Well,
And
to
don't
me,
think of the owners of your horses. Just speak to me as a jockey, as a former jockey.
to me, it's because I've been riding races myself. I know 100 things can happen during a race. You have a plan, it doesn't go according to the plan, and things change all the time. To me, the most important thing is to have the horse ready. I mean, trainers can also do mistakes, maybe run a horse that's not 100%, you know. It works both ways, to me, in my opinion. And I know it's hard to ride races. Sometimes it's hard to follow the instructions, and things happen.
So what is your advice for yourself as a trainer, for other trainers, or for those jockeys who were like you before, and you've been in this race, the World Championship, the first 3 years, you were a rider?
Yeah. My advice is just, as long as you know with yourself that you tried your best, and go and enjoy, and it's, you know, these female races are mostly amateur riders. They have
No.
I know it's
Us,
professional
not
also,
at all.
but
it's equal.
Okay.
With Sheikh Mansoor Festival is equal.
But there
It's
is amateur
professionals
riders
and
in the
amateurs.
race.
There's equal balance between amateurs and professional.
Yeah.
In this race, you have 16 15 jockeys now, because there is one horse. We had only 15 horses for the race. But if you see, it's an equilibrium between the amateurs and the professional.
I know that. But my point is, there is amateur riders in the race.
Yes.
In the whole festival, generally, there are amateur riders riding. And most of them have a normal job. They don't ride out every morning. And as long as they do their best, try to be as fit as they can, and do their best. I mean, that's the advice I can give.
Okay. Pat, what is your advice for trainers to to just maybe, if they can help in a way, those young jockeys, professionals or amateurs, to do?
Far be it from me to tell trainers what to do, but I think trainers should take more interest in their apprentice riders.
Yes.
From A to Z, really. I.e., educate them up to a standard of being able to hold their own in conversation with outside people. Because don't forget, trainers train for owners, like their highnesses that we have here and other multimillionaires throughout the world, you know. And the apprentice, he should be taught how to conduct himself in front of such an owner. And there was an instance we're talking about thanking people. Now, in my day, when you rode a winner, the owner gave you a percentage. Then it was absolutely mandatory. You had to reply in a written letter of thanks to that owner. And if you didn't, the trainer would kick your bottom from here to Hong Kong, I promise you, you know. But the trainers should, in my opinion, take much more interest in their apprentices. Even if he's not. I mean, out of every 10 apprentices that go in to serve their apprenticeship, there's probably only 2 or 3 that are going to make it, you know that?
Yes.
The others will, well, how long will they stay in racing if they're not getting there? But there's got to be an alternative. I mean, racing requires many other personnel working, i.e. assistant trainers, headmen, foremen, yardmen, feedmen, all sorts of other areas. And if you can interest the guys into doing that, if they're not going to be jockeys, as I say, a very small percentage of the guys that go into racing come out shining with crowns on their head, you know.
So what do you think? Maybe we can do one session in Morocco for trainers only.
Interesting.
How to educate trainers. What do you think, guys?
What do you think, guys? Yeah.
What do you think, Doctor? Dr. Abdallah? Dr. Abdallah is not
That
listening.
has gone down very well. My microphone is not working.
Can we give the mic to Dr. Abdallah?
What?
What do you think, Dr. Abdallah, of conducting one session for trainers only in Morocco for education, to educate them about how to react, how to educate their own apprentice jockeys?
Yes.
Yes? So, it's good one.
Okay.
Yes,
I know, it's brilliant. Well done. Yes.
Well, it's a good idea. Any education is a good idea. It's not a bad idea.
And in Morocco, all the trainers will be there. So what a nice we can do one workshop only for the trainers next time. What do you think?
Great idea. Brilliant.
Thank you, guys. Mr. from Cyprus, what's your name? You are our new member in Ifahra.
Yes, I am your new member. I like to thank Sheikh Mansoor, also you, because we are invited to be in this special festival. And it's a real special festival. And we are very happy to be a small part of it, a very small part of it. Actually, the story I want to say to you, that is, I have one apprentice. He came with me before 1 year, and he asked me to be apprentice, and he never know what is horse is. He never ride the horse in his life. So he's becoming from a small village far away from the racetrack. Every day he have to travel around 100 miles to go and come. And he was sacrificing a lot of things just to be apprentice. And when he was planning to stop, Mr. Ian Patterson said to him, I give you a chance, and through you, they invite us to come here. This apprentice today is here. He decided to don't stop because of Sheikh Mansoor and your festival and all the things you do for all these apprentices. And because he don't speak English, he asked me to help you to say thank you from his heart about what you do for all the apprentices.
Thank you for you.
Thank you,
I need
Cyprus.
to say something about this young apprentice. Very smart boy. He was traveling with us. He was in Tarbes. We had a race, and he don't speak no English, little less, some words. He traveled on his own. You should be very proud of your young apprentice. He should be proud of himself because
up.
he
Stand
traveled
up.
alone.
Come on. Brilliant. Stand up and give him a big round of
he's
applause.
standing.
Oh, is that it? Well done. Superb.
This young apprentice is a good example for a young guy. Listen, guys, he traveled on his own. Everything is written in French. He took another plane. He was not going a direct flight. He was going from Pau to Paris and from Paris to Cyprus. I was watching him and I told him, come with us. He said, no, I know. I said, okay. Are you sure you know your flight? He said, I know. When we changed the intervals, because we have to go to a terminal, he knew how to go and we didn't know how to go out.
Honestly. Love it. Well done, young man.
So you have educated him very well, but he is a smart boy.
Because
Very
of,
smart, mashallah, and keep working on, tell him to keep working on himself, like every single young apprentice and lady jockey. Working on yourself is how you improve. Education is very important. We educate ourselves till we die. Every day is a day that gives you good lessons in your life. If someone say, I know, this means he doesn't know anything. Because once you say, I know, means you are not confident in yourself. Once you are confident in yourself, you need to learn from the day you have experienced a new thing, because I'm sure every single day is a good lesson for every single human being. So once we stop learning, this means we do not exist anymore.
Well said. We have a question coming in from a gentleman. Please stand, sir. I think this gentleman is from Sweden.
Yes, Niels Rosenkjær here. This will be a hard act to follow, I can say that. First, of course, I'd like to thank you, say thank you to the festival and the sponsors, and most of all, Sheikha Fatima Bint Mubarak herself, a woman for whom I have the utmost respect. But now I'll come to the stick. We were talking about how the jockeys, the apprentices, the amateur riders should behave in front of the media. But I'd like to pass that thing over and say how the media should express themselves towards the apprentices and the jockeys as a whole. In my mind, they seem to be quite lazy. They come up with standard questions like, how did it feel to win that race? Well, what do you think it felt like? Tell us about yourself. Well, 23 years old, I'm whatever. I mean, you need to come with a leading question. You need to do your homework about this. If it's a new apprentice coming up, you know the rest of the jockeys, you don't know him, ask about him. People who know him, ask himself before the race. They say, what's about you?
Hold your microphone a bit closer.
Yes. So I think the media needs to do their homework too, much more than they do.
But that's surely the reason we're talking them, to find out more about them so we can write about them. Remember, we're live at the time. We're not, I'm not getting to write it down. I'm asking that question at the same time.
Yes, but when you ask a question to a person straight up like this, I mean, they can't tell what question you're going to ask, and they can prepare that answer for them. So you need to do your homework and ask questions that this jockey can answer in a proper way so it doesn't look like a fool.
Right.
Jean-Claude, do you have any answer for him? For Nils? Jean-Claude, can you stand up from France Gallo? Sorry, from Pariteur.
Well, we've talked about, many things this morning. We raised, many
subjects. For what
subjects.
he was saying about the questions.
Now, about the questions, we need, as we said, in many panels, to educate. This word, education, came up very often. Whether, to educate, the jockeys. Now, you've talked about the trainers. Even, for people, to read a race card, all of this, especially in horse racing, where, it's quite difficult. Regarding, young jockeys, the thing is, for them, as I said, it's these young jockeys, do not expect, questions, they're going to be asked. And for us, it's the easy way, to go is to start, from scratch, just not try to put them, in a different, in a tricky position. That's all.
Can I just make a point? The doctor said this morning, he was coming out of his house this morning and his son said, where are you going? What are you doing? I love people who ask questions. They may be basic questions, but to the person who's asking them, they're very important questions. And I love people who ask questions. And that's why I will continue to ask questions.
And that's why he called you Tomo.
Hey.
Dr. Abdallah said.
I love it.
You are making, it's Tomo.
We have a question coming in. Thank you. From the far side, please.
Thank you, Jean-Claude.
Say hello.
I'm Melissa from Racing Victoria. Sorry, media, I'm probably going to be similar to the last one. We were talking about it at lunchtime, and I think for all of the jockeys, they have to step outside their comfort zone. And whether it's for Lucas from Argentina that's just learning English, and he might just be practicing saying hello and where he's from and how many race rides he's had, or for our jockeys who are more experienced being able to do an interview on Yas TV. It's about a relationship. And I was thinking about, we were talking about it at lunchtime, about that informal conversation and whether any of the media who've been here at lunchtime have found out, or at dinner have found out over the last few days, that we have the boy from Cyprus and what he's done, or that we have Lyle from South Africa that's the second leading apprentice. So probably it's just as important to learn those stories in the informal situation as well, and it means everyone has to step outside their comfort zone and, like Richard said yesterday, learn something new about someone. So.
Agreed entirely, and absolutely right. I think the journalists might well have been doing that. If not, they might not have been doing their job properly. But I agree with you, and thank you so much for that. Sarah, where is our next question? We have Philip, where are we? We have Philip Brannan, then the gentleman in the front row, and then there. Let's start with you, Philip Brannan.
I just wanted to continue that. I thought that was a great point that Melissa made about the journalists stepping out of their comfort zone. But something that we very nearly touched on this morning in the media panel was if you can't be prepared, Niels, for the question, and this is where, Niels, we bat it back to the journalists. If they're going to ask lazy questions, if we can't prepare for the question that we're going to be asked, then do the politician's trick. Decide what you want to tell them before you're asked the question. Yes. And if they repeatedly don't get the answer back that they're expecting, then they will become more creative in the questions that they ask, I would hope. But decide in your own mind first what it is you want to say, the points that you want to get across, the people that you want to thank, and then if the question is inane, how do you feel having won that race? I feel great, and I would like to thank Sheikh Mansoor Festival, or my owner, or my sponsor, or whoever, and have in mind those points that you want to get across before that inane question is asked would be a way around it.
Well said, Philip. We have another question from the back who I can't see. Please stand up.
He wants to ask a question.
I will do. We're coming to you, sir, but the person who has the microphone, I will come to you.
Is this on? Oh, I guess it is. I'm Kathy Smoke, Arabian Jockey Club from the United States. And in the 3 years that the Her Highness Sheikha Fatima Bint Mubarak conference has started for the apprentice and the amateur ladies, it's grown so exponentially that I'm now getting emails from apprentices and amateurs from around the country, my country, and out of the USA, wanting to know. They did not come through one of your IFRA schools, Lara, and they're wanting to know how they can become affiliated to take advantage of the education and learning that this conference is offering. And it's obviously you're doing a good job of promoting it, because these are people who did not come through the schools that are wanting to learn. What do I do? What do I do? What kind of direction do I give them?
Just direct them to the festival. Okay. So we make sure that maybe if it's about education, we can have them with Remy, with Ifra, and just try to see how we can help in these things, maybe through this workshop and through this festival, through Sheikha Fatima Bint Mubarak Training and Education Conference. We can have some jockeys that are not coming from the schools also invited. Also, this is what we said last time in the General Assembly, that the races of Her Highness Sheikha Fatima Bint Mubarak Apprentice World Championship does not mean that it has to be related 100% to the schools. Any apprentice jockey that we would know and the school could not provide other than 1 or 2 jockeys, like for example in the races, then we will have to invite another jockey from the same country to have a ride, because it's unfair to just concentrate only on the schools and forget that there are real apprentice jockeys that are really needing support. So we want to support everyone, but you know, Kathy, very well that, for example, we can say this year that we were supposed to do 9 races this year. 2 countries we couldn't do races in. One was United States. Los Alamitos did not allow any apprentice or ladies jockey to ride. They wouldn't license you guys because they don't want any of your races. The directives that came to me and the initiatives from His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed is only to support the race courses that can accept you guys first before us. So this is why we changed to the East Coast and we went to the greatest Monmouth Park, which is a great race course in United States. And we've given the first thing to do, thanks to Kathy Smoke, who helped in it, is to have an Apprentice World Championship next year for you guys.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. By the way, you're ambassador here as well.
Of course, and she's a Monmouth Park.
Exactly. Anybody in America want to talk?
Jockey fame.
You got the.
And also another country that also wouldn't license jockeys, apprentice, is Gold Coast in Australia. They wouldn't give, this is Racing Victoria. I want you, Melissa, please, if you can answer me some questions. Can you stand up? We were refused in Gold Coast to have a race of apprentice. They wouldn't even license them. How come Racing Victoria has the biggest school in Australia and there's not much awareness for apprentice jockey in Gold Coast?
That's under a different, so we operate as separate jurisdictions.
Yeah, I know it's, but I'm asking, it's a country, and you have the biggest school, and you run the biggest and one of the main esteemed schools in Australia, isn't it? And we were forbidden to ride.
I can't comment. I know the racing apprentices in the school in Queensland, but I didn't even know about that till now, so I'm not sure why Racing Queensland.
Yes, Queensland
license
that wouldn't let this race happen and neither license any apprentice jockey.
I had wondered why it didn't go ahead, but I didn't realise that was the reason why. So I'm not sure. We've got a situation at the moment where we have created a dual licence that's providing an opportunity for jockeys to become trainers and transition out, and Racing Queensland and Racing New South Wales don't acknowledge that dual licence. So Michelle Payne has that dual licence and she wasn't able to ride recently in Sydney because
You're joking.
Yes.
they don't
Girl who won the
acknowledge
Melbourne
that.
Cup.
Yes.
One of the best jockeys in the world.
Yes.
Wasn't allowed to ride.
I'm probably,
Yes, this is in Australia.
I'm just probably
It's
trying
happening.
to use that
Am I
as an
hearing this?
example to show that they're different. We have different racing jurisdictions and we don't all have the same
How
licence.
can we help in order to have all the parts in Australia understanding the existence of those jockeys that really need support? We don't want always, like Gold Coast is a very nice area to go and race. And they have a great race course. And we have conducted the Wasp Stallions very well. And Nadine is always with us and she's working with us for the festival in Australia. Nadine Frampton, which we all need to clap for her
Yeah, Nadine,
because
where are
she
you?
deserves a
There's
very
you.
big clap from all of us. Victoria Shaw also.
Victoria?
Same thing. Thank you for doing a great job for the festival in Australia.
What is your response to this?
Thank
Victoria?
you. And I just wanted to point out a few idiosyncrasies about Australia, which is very difficult in support of Melissa as well. I've had contact with the Queensland government, and given the various states in Australia, Queensland racing at large is responsible for greyhound racing, harness racing, and of course thoroughbred racing as well. So it's across numerous insurance issues, not just thoroughbred racing, and getting the Arabian horses and the apprentices from foreign countries onto their tracks, which requires specific insurances. Queensland racing has been in absolute turmoil. They've had an interim situation where they've actually appointed a body of accountants to run racing, and that's no reflection on Racing Victoria at all. But they weren't across these issues. I've been in contact with their office over the last couple of weeks, trying to get into their ear. Equally, the Minister for Racing in Queensland has about 4 or 5 racing portfolios, and I hope that she would actually join us here as a part of the festival. I know Grace would still like
I
to.
know. We received an email.
Yeah, but
regarding
I have been in their ear, and equally Melissa in the state of Victoria, it's a very difficult situation to trying to establish some unity, and I'm independent of all of these jurisdictions, but I have certainly been in their ear. Also, while I have the opportunity, Melissa, I would also like to ask Lara for your support. I've been in contact with the Australian Racing Museum, and to celebrate Ben Thompson's achievement last year, I took the book that you gave us from His Highness Sheikh Mansoor, which in the forward acknowledged Ben's victory, and that was the first time an Australian, of course, has won at the Abu Dhabi track. And I would seek your support, which we'll do, talk about privately another time, to have the festival and Ben's victory acknowledged in the Racing Museum at the MCG alongside our Olympic memorabilia, because I believe that's certainly an opportunity where this festival should be on display in Australia and for Ben's achievements as well. So that's certainly I'd like to ask your support at another time, but I have been in contact with the office trying to put forward the festival for you.
Thank
you
very much.
Victoria, very much.
That is amazing, that, isn't it? It is incredible. We've got a guy coming
She is
down.
a great ambassador for us, really. Really, thank you. You've done a lot for us, trying to push many magazines to write. You've done it very well, Ladies in Racing. Thank you, Victoria, for really being for the festival. Our spokesperson in Australia, because you really reached too many voices there, and little by little things are moving in Australia, and hopefully now we will be able to conduct our race in Melbourne, as I think there are some issues we really need to speak with Nara about it later on.
Can we, while you take the microphone down to the front, there's somebody at the back. Okay, it's a gentleman, sir, yes.
I was just wondering, going forward this festival, would it be possible to organise a morning for the apprentices to ride track work here? Because I think it's a great pity that they come all this way from Australia, from America, from Puerto Rico, Ireland, and they don't get that experience of even riding track work in the morning. Now, every year I bring a couple of apprentices over to France to ride out in Chantilly, and apart from riding in the race, to actually ride there is fantastic. And I was here a couple of years back ago, and Sadiq Simar brought me out one morning just to experience the track work in the morning and the sun rising. And it was an absolutely fantastic experience. And I just think it's a great pity that I know probably the logistics of it might be quite difficult getting them all around, but I just think it's a great pity that you don't get that experience, because I think it's something they take with them for the rest of their lives.
I'm nodding in agreement with you, because I love starting the morning at the racetrack. I don't know why that wasn't done. Pat, have we organised this?
I just think it'd really add to this fantastic festival going forward to the future.
Yeah. If we have the microphone, you've very, very interesting point. Pat, it's a great idea. I mean, I would have loved to have ridden out, obviously, but have the apprentices, have anybody ridden? Julie Crone is here. Julie, obviously, you two sitting together.
You've ridden out, Julie. Quite a few of the apprentices have ridden out, I'm happy to tell you, and they've been up at Alisal riding out and in various places.
Oh, well, they have.
So we don't have that many horses in the Abu Dhabi Equestrian Club now, you see. Basically young horses that are...
Well, a bit risky with young horses.
This is the thing, you see.
But at least you raised that point, and it's a good... Just
oh, no, we're all for it, you know. It's,
yeah.
Julie.
Julie?
Okay, I'm not... Can I do another question? Is that
yes,
okay?
good.
Okay. It's not actually a question. As the conversation has evolved, I feel like I went through a journey as a rider. From the beginning mentioned to the adversities and the difficult balance that a jockey has between coming across or actually being an effective athlete, as well as kind of like an attractive person that would be sellable to a trainer or an owner. And I thought of all the pressures involved in that, and when she mentioned the depression and the fact that, like, if a horse runs poorly, often jockeys will be blamed for, like, how things happen. And then maybe the possibility of dieting, adding to that, was something that I didn't have to really put up with that much, but I had to definitely walk around on eggshells often around my fellow peers, because I was well aware of the fact that sometimes that my jockey friends wouldn't actually be the best spirits for the day because they were dieting. Oftentimes, if I wanted to aggravate somebody, I might get a giant fudgicle from the jockey's room and like eat it in front of them or something before the scale, just to get an extra nudge on them, so maybe I could aggravate them more and beat them a nose or something. But I started to realize, as everyone was talking and the conversation was evolving about becoming a real athlete and a really good person, and it made me remember the time that I had some personal problems and I kept them to myself, and I never shared them with anybody because I was like this fancy athlete, you know, and it was like, it was, not only it was a humiliating to like share it with somebody, like, oh, I was maybe afraid to go into a tight spot or something because I hadn't recovered from enough time from riding from having a spill. And the reason I know that this is okay to do is because I've done it and I had serious doubt when it started. But it seems if you share your challenges sometimes with people, or you find somebody who can be on your team, that just by talking often, because of the nature of being a human, I think also as an apprentice jockey, I'm going to now make it their job, if they could listen to advice that I have had from my experience, would be to say, find somebody who's on your team and look around, you know, and if the river would be like your life and being a jockey, like the river, like let go of the bank and just dive in and then take a deep breath and get your face above the water. And as the river's like rushing on, look around and see who's on your team, and look around and see like who's also like swimming along with their head up above the water, you know? Like make those people your thing, the people that you talk to each other, and you get rid of those doubts, and you tell people like, oh, I was afraid today on this horse. Oh, I had this personal problem and I can't seem to break through it, so I can start to work on myself. The processes that it takes to become a better person and work on yourself is not easy. And you young people, do the hard work. Do that thing you've been avoiding. Do that person you've been avoiding talking to. Be that person that walks up and talks to that trainer that's been, you know, that little something that's not perfect or going right, you know. Sort it out. Do the hard things. Do the really hard things, the things that you want to avoid, the things that make you, you know, maybe went out and go and have a beer one night or something and say, just forget it, it'll like be better or something. Fix the problems, and also address your mental health and your mental attitude about things. And because we're human, and it was so beautiful, the Reiki, it's such an amazing, like, it's like effortless. You can't see it. You know, it runs like under, because we're all such physical energy beings.
You're healing yourself.
Tell people when you're having a hard time, and you will be surprised how fast your hard time will fall away. You give the burdens and the energy to other people and help them, let them sort it out, and it'll free your soul and it'll free your mind, and you can focus on your riding more. But it's really beautiful to be here and I felt like I've grown up today from being like 17 to like now. And everything you've touched on is the evolution of what it takes to become a successful jockey, and then sit here as a healthy adult, or like, you know, not an apprentice, and look back on my career. And I wish that I would have talked to people more and looked for help more and went outside myself a little bit, because there's so much of being a jockey that requires this inner strength and this intensity that you have to relieve yourself from sometimes. And go ahead and let people see your faults. Don't try to hide them all. And you'll be surprised that they're going to accept you anyway, and then you can watch them fall away, and you can start to form yourself as an athlete and a professional.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
that
George.
deserves a big round of applause. That came straight from the heart. We have a question from this gentleman over this side, the gentleman from Sweden. Yes.
My name is Bo Gilboy. I'm working with racing in Sweden. Been doing that almost all my life. And I would, this is my first time in Abu Dhabi, and I would like to really thank Sheikh Mansoor and especially Laura for giving me the opportunity to come here. I've enjoyed every second, and we still have 2 more days, so I suppose it will be even more fantastic. You know that in racing, the horses has always been the key thing, and common word around the world now is the welfare of the horse in every kind of subject, to take care of the horse, especially after its racing career. But I think what Lara started up here is something else. It's taking care of the human being within racing. And that's something very new, I think. The humans, there's still a lot of people all over the world within racing who has poor payment, do a lot of hard, tough work without anyone seeing them. And other big organizations, companies, they have big human resources departments who do a lot of things to develop their people. And in a small way, I think this is the first human department within the world's racing industry. And it started with a focus on apprentices and jockeys, but I think it will go on, and it needs to go on. And my best is not a question, it's a suggestion. And I think a lot of people within racing, within the jockey clubs, the boards around the world, I think we should send Lara, I would say, sorry, Lara, to a worldwide tour and take her into the boardrooms. But what I can see, she can make them listen. The importance of empathy, education, training, and also not looking after just the horses, but also the human beings. And again, thank you for letting me being here with all of you lovely people.
We thank you always, to be very proud to be always with him in Sweden, and especially in the biggest race in the park. Thank you for taking care of all of us, of all the festival team, and of all the professional jockeys this day in the park. Thank you.
Wow, outstanding. We have a question from a gentleman at the back, sir.
Keith Rowe from the Irish Racing Academy. Just to say, Laura, it's great to see the development of the conference and the program over the last few years, focused on education and training. But we have about 150 riders here from all around the world. We also have a really good panel of expertise in terms of coaches and mentors and professional role models. And just a suggestion, a couple of suggestions. One would be, in terms of the future format, to make a meaningful professional development opportunity for the riders. They would really benefit, I feel, from more interactive activity over the course of the week. They're here for 5 days. There's a fantastic opportunity. And while we have a coaching workshop tomorrow morning, which is great, but it's 4 hours, it is going to be very tight, and there are a number of people who won't even be able to get into it. So would it be something for consideration, or you could throw out to the group and see, would there be an appetite for more structured coaching clinics throughout the week or over several days, where you can really benefit from the expertise that is here, and people will go home having got some really meaningful input?
Good question.
We have spoken, very good one. Thanks, Keith. We have where is Kai? Kai is not here?
Kai is setting up the workshop.
Is setting the workshop.
Yes.
We have raised this issue because Kai, remember, he said it in the meeting in the General Assembly of IFHRA. And next time, what we will do is we will try to put the workshop at the beginning and not towards the end. So we can have enough time from the day they come. They have enough intervals between, like, for example, the press conference or anything they need to attend. And then we'll have on 2 days, 3 days workshop and but we make it simple. Instead of having it 4 hours, we can have, like, the last day is 4 hours, but we will do like 2 hours or 2 hours and a half, 2 hours and a half for 2 days, and the last day 4 hours for those apprentice jockey with the workshops, which we will all together with Remy and with all of the executive committee of IFRA, and of all the members, suggestions how can we improve those workshops and how can we get more professionals to be involved. Like tomorrow there will be Mai Daher, who is going to be doing the holistic part of the energy level for those jockeys. Then you have Richard Perham, Kai, and Tomo for education on for the media, and definitely the best, Julie Crown, our ambassador's jockey, with Richard Mullen and Xavier, to give them advices. Next year, there will be workshops, 3 workshops, but separated, every day before the conference starts, so they have enough time and not feeling that they are coming to study, They need to feel they are very happy to come to Abu Dhabi, their second home. They know they're going to get lots of education, but this time the education needs also, we need to have those young amateurs also involved and the ladies involved. Those amateurs, the girls also really need to deserve a chance. They have asked for a workshop and we really need to conduct, even separately, not in the same place, but if they need to go on stimulators to know how to whip the horse, wherever, to the whipping and the conditions, they can go. Also, the amateurs can have a chance next year to do so.
Thank you for that question. And I'm dying to see Judy Krohn on that simulator. I love the way she does that. There's a lady in the middle here. Would you please stand? Yes?
I'm Ricky from Denmark, and I'm representing the amateurs in Denmark. And some from Scandinavia. We are a very small country, so we are all sort of together. And we are very happy that next year that the lady riders can get a chance. Because in Scandinavia, most of the sports are amateurs, keeping the daily basis, the wheels going around, and then the professional ride the horses, but we actually train the horses. And we are also racing, and we are racing a lot, and we have nobody to teach us. In Sweden, they started up with some of the professionals. We don't have a jockey school, and if we are welcome to come to some in England, but we have to pay ourselves, and we can't afford it. Kai is good to help us, but also we have three training horses, and as Julie said, ask for help, because we realized how many professional jockeys would help us on the plastic horses, and it's really worth opening your mouth asking. Another thing for today was the communication between the trainers and the jockeys and the amateurs. I think it's very important to go both ways, because I have been a trainer and I'm actually laughing about that. Oh, if it's just a poor jockey, the jockey did this and that, and if you ask the jockey, oh, the horse was bad. And what I teach the new amateurs is, if you screw up a race, don't run away. Be honest to the trainer and say, I wasn't fit enough. And also the trainer, they know, I knew if my horse wasn't 100%, if he needed the race. And then you come and you can see in the race card, the horse might not have a chance, but the trainer goes, you have to win. And
this is why we said we will do training for the trainers.
Exactly, it's very good.
There will be an educational program in Morocco only for the trainers, a small workshop for that.
It's very good, and also when you put new amateurs, apprentices, be honest about the horse. If you jump off a horse and he will take a hold and piss off you, at least tell the person who's going to ride it that this can happen. This is all right, because otherwise they will be shaking behind the stalls.
How many amateurs jockey you have in Denmark? When you're talking, we are a group of amateurs.
I will say we have, I think, 4 professional, the rest are amateurs.
How many amateurs?
50, around
50 amateurs.
Yeah.
So what we will do is we will send you Kai.
Oh, that will be good.
And then you will conduct a workshop with Kai in your country.
Great
Thank
idea.
you,
That's the
Laura.
best thing. The festival will send Kai to you, and you will see with Kai his availability, because Kai is the coach of His Highness Sheikh Mansoor Festival, and his experience will give it to you guys. And even we can send also the holistic part, May, to conduct the workshop together, Kai and May, to do this.
Thank you very much.
In your
Thank
company.
you very much. That's lovely. We have a question. Where's the next microphone? Where is the microphone? We have a gentleman at the back. Sir.
أنا عبد الحي مختار صحفي من مجلة الوصية من مصر.
Abdelhai Mukhtar from Egypt. I have a question from the previous session that I did not have the time to ask. We learned that professional journalists should not address their questions to their guests, and each school is different. You might ask things about the sessions of the conference. For instance, if you attended a conference, and each journalist should write their own questions from their own angle, from what they see. And they will get material about the genetic stuff if you are covering conferences. Everything needs to have a specific meaning. What is your question, sir? It's not a question, it's just a clarification. When I met jockeys in the hotel, in different events, we started discussing, we got to know each other. I learned a lot about them. We started at 3 and maybe we finished around 10. I saw that they have a lot of questions, things they wanted to learn, and I ended up with a very interesting interview. Had I asked a direct question to the jockey, I wouldn't have had time to get a comprehensive response. But this is part of the skill of the journalist that needs also to be creative and innovative, to know how to get to know their interviewee. The point was that as a journalist, they're asking the young apprentices questions that might shock them, and Jean-Claude from Paris Turf answered and said that even if you asked basic questions to these interviewees who are very young and they don't have the needed experience in order to be able to respond to like any professional jockey. This is what I'm trying to say, because when you sit together, you get to know each other, you discuss among each other, many things can happen. This is why journalists need to do their homework also.
Coming in from John Reed, former Derby winning jockey.
First of all, Laura, I'd like to congratulate you for running these sort of things. It gives a lot of people a voice, which they normally wouldn't have. And it's good to discuss these things and have other people giving you answers about them. I'm now a jockey coach. I have been for over 4 years. It was something that I really thought was necessary to keep the standard of riding high. And I think the higher standard you've got, the less chance people will get hurt. And I really believe in it. And the other thing is, I've never been, at this particular place here, I've been invited to come by the Belgium Jockey Club, because I go over there and coach a lot of their jockeys, which I've really enjoyed doing, and I've seen them make enormous improvement in a short time. But I'm very proud to do that. But the other thing that sprung to mind is a lot of them are also amateur riders. And I've always been involved with professionals, and all through my career, I've always tried to make sure that the jockeys, less off than myself, were looked after. And we've done that through the Jockey Association over years. And I was joint president for 15 years of it. And out of that, we've got many good things now, pensions and all sorts, and we've got training after jockeys retire or while they're riding. And all these things have been brought in over the last sort of 15, 20 years. But what I'm also aware of is that, you know, we're well covered over there. I'm also a member of PRIS, who supply money to jockeys that are injured. So any jockey that's out for a period of time will get, according to how many rides they have, a decent living, you know. So a top jockey will be getting about £1,500 a month while he's off. Now, I know other countries couldn't possibly, you know, get to that sort of figure. But what concerns me a little bit is you have a lot of amateur jockeys riding here, and I would just like to know what is in place for them when they're coming to going around the world and riding. They're taking the same risks as any professional. And I would just like to know, is there any insurance or anything in place that looks after any of these people that get badly hurt?
I tell you one thing, regarding the amateurs, this is, they belong to the Fegentry. And the Fegentry, I think they're the one who needs, no? You do not belong to the Fegentry?
You don't.
Okay, countries that are members, but normally countries that are members belong to the Fegentry. Maybe Sarah can answer this
Who knows
question.
the answer to this one?
Regarding the
Very
insurance
good
for
question,
the
John.
amateurs.
If you could pass your microphone on. Who knows the answer? Hands up. Who
No,
knows the
no,
answer?
Sarah.
Let's
Please.
have a look.
Sarah Oliver, she's the
Sarah
also
Oliver.
Sheikh Mansoor Festival responsible of all the jockeys.
Sarah, please stand up and thank you.
And she's the also British amateur club.
All amateur jockeys are asked to make sure that they do have insurance in place. It's up to their clubs, up to their amateur clubs, to make sure that that insurance is in place. So from Great Britain, if we send jockeys, we make sure that they are insured wherever they ride in the world. That is the position with amateur jockeys.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
All amateur jockeys, when we actually invite them through the Sheikh Mansour Festival,
Yes.
we say on the invitation that they should ensure that they are insured to race ride wherever they're going to be riding. And it's up to themselves as individuals or up to their clubs to make sure that they are actually covered by insurance.
Thank you for explaining that to us. So,
Thank you,
guys,
Sarah.
You have to get insured. We have another question, I think, from the gentleman on your right in the blue shirt.
Did it answer your question?
John, it's a
They
good
should
question.
have insurance. When we invite them
Yeah.
to ride outside, we make sure that in the invitation it states that they have to have insurance.
I do understand that, but I know also insurance, if it's not done collectively, is very, very expensive.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
It's about insurance and how, ask us about how insurance is expensive because we know very well how it is. And insurance also in the United States, everything you want to do has insurance. If you want to move this
It's a very
telephone to the table, you pay insurance. So,
it's a very good question, but
so definitely
I love it.
insurance.
But
If you
John
walk
was
on the
saying-
street, you have to pay insurance.
But John was saying, and it's a good call, that he has it for professionals. That is paid for automatically.
Yes.
Why is it not paid for automatically by the amateurs? As a former amateur, just say they take the
Because
same
I think amateurs has specific rules within. I don't know exactly the rules in the amateurs club. Maybe Sarah can explain more. But this is related to them, and maybe they have them as
Just a
amateurs
thought.
club and maybe part of Fegentry, or no, maybe they have an association.
It's
they
up
belong
to the individual racing associations, amateur associations, as to whether they take that responsibility or not. And in Great Britain, we take insurance very seriously, and we ensure that all our amateurs, when they're riding under rules anywhere in the world that has a recognised racing authority, they are actually very well insured for any accident, and also for rider-to-rider insurance, and even also for death.
Jarda, in Holland, you have anything to say about Holland? Do you have insurance in your country? Please,
You do have
Olga, you
insurance.
need to be
We have the
fast.
microphone.
You are wearing Sheikh Mansour Festival jockey, no?
Hello, thank you. I'm Charter from the Netherlands, and we do have insurance through a club, but it doesn't cover everything. I think the amateur organization in our country, because we're so small, is not really professional anymore, and we've been struggling as well. As Ricky was saying, we don't have any coaches, we don't have anybody to tell us how to ride or how to do. And the
I can tell you
insurances as well.
something, Jarda. We have races all over the world. It's a suggestion. Kai is there. Once the jockey arrives, if it's ladies, now we have Kai with them looking after them. Once you send your jockeys, we have 10 countries in every race. So what we will do from now on, we'll have one day is to coach those jockeys from any country they are, and we will have them coached by May and Kai together. And then I think that if you have 15 races of ladies, so you have 15 girls. If you have 10 races of apprentices, you have 10 boys in the year. Or it depends how it circulates, because we are a lot in IFRA and in IFRA, and eventually there's now 42 countries in IFRA. So once you grow bigger, I think maybe Kai and May can conduct one day before they arrive, before the day of the race, and do this particular workshop.
Yeah.
Because even we invite the amateurs of this country to come and join this workshop. What do you think, guys? And have this day of workshop.
Yay! Yay! Perfect.
So
Very well.
this is how we will do it.
happy.
We have a race in Denmark. You will have all your amateurs that day, even your apprentices. You have one apprentice. Two. One which is Denmark, Kenya. He's holding 2 flags on Sunday. And another one from which nationality? Okay, so you have we have to work that we have Denmark apprentices also. But this is a chance for you guys, any country we go to, we can have one day of coaching and invite your responsibility, if you take it, to invite your apprentices and amateurs, okay? And even your professionals if they like to have it. And you will have one day before the race of coaching by Kai and Maydacher.
Brilliant. And we'll see you in Vandenborg.
And of course, when you have Richard, Mullen, and Xavier with us in most of the races, and our friend Julie.
Julie Crow.
See?
We have a question coming in. Guys, we're running out of time. We've just got a couple of minutes left. Sir.
All right, George Wilson from Liverpool John Moores University. Hello, you all right? Thanks, team. Fan club. What I was going to say is, it's serious points. We were talking about the trainer-jockey relationship. And I'd just like to put that in line with other sports. If you think about you're trying to judge a jockey on a poor performance, yet as a trainer, the jockey may have had to lose 6, 7, 8 pounds to make weight, because that's common. Then a jockey goes out and rides, underperforms, it's no surprise. Because if you think about how dehydration, rapid dehydration affects performance, we've actually looked at this in some research. I devised a 2-mile simulated race on a Racewood simulator, which the apprentices will be using tomorrow. And we rigged up the simulator to a computer, and we looked at the pushing force frequency. So we then done the jockeys in a hydrated state, so they weren't dehydrated. Then we dehydrated them by running them, not on the same day, on a different day, for 45 minutes in a sweatsuit, and they lost about 2% body weight, body mass. And there was a significant reduction in their pushing frequency. So let's bring it back to what you've been talking about. You've been talking about a trainer and jockey relationship. A jockey gets beaten a short head. We've shown in a simulated race that your pushing frequency is significantly decreased by rapid dehydration. Okay? So, if a trainer wants a jockey to perform at his best, surely, if I was a trainer, I would have the duty of care to think, A, can this jockey make the weight without sweating? What's his minimum, optimum racing weight? Then I know the guy or girl I'm legging up is in the perfect condition to do the job. Now, human error, we all have human error, but we also in that same study saw reaction time, how they react, actually was significantly, well, it was reduced. It wasn't significant, but it was reduced. So the point I'm making is, as a trainer, I would look to see, has that jockey prepared properly? Because in other sports, we see with boxing and football as well, they have people who make sure they prepare properly. So don't be surprised, trainers, if your jockey underperforms, if he's gone and lost 4 or 5 kilos before he rides your horse.
What do you think, George? when you're in Morocco next year,
When
in
we-
the workshop for the trainers, you will be one of the conductors of the workshop
Well,
for the trainers.
well, I'm
To teach them
Finish up
how
the job.
they do.
It is an awful lot of sense he talks, and he's backed it up with facts
Yes.
from the university.
Research, isn't
That is an outstanding point of view, and you can't argue with it. Case carried.
So you
It's as
will be
simple as
on
that.
the workshop
Brilliant.
of the trainers.
Can I bring my guitar?
No. No.
Well, I'm not coming.
I've heard him sing as well. No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've had something
have a
very...
question
Oh, we
over
have
there.
one more. Trevor, one more
Two
question.
more questions.
Two more questions. We have the gentleman, lady...
Sue,
who is
we
it?
missed
Please
you
stand up.
lots of years, and you are so happy to have Sue with us this year. Let's clap for Sue.
Well, that's
Thank you so much. I'm Susan Meyer from the Arabian Jockey Club in the United States. And I'm going back to the media, young jockey, apprentice lady interaction. And I had a thought that perhaps at your workshops or through your academies and schools, we could help our young apprentices and lady jockeys to develop resumes on themselves that tells about their personal story, their personal journey, some of their accomplishments, and then those resumes could be made maybe available on the IFARA website. And so journalists
IFARA, yeah.
can access those before the race so that they're prepared to ask questions that the jockeys and ladies are prepared to answer because they know a little bit about, which goes back to what he was talking about. You get to know them a little bit. So if we could develop those resumes, it would maybe help both sides.
So what do you think, ladies and apprentices?
Agreed.
Would you do it?
Right about yourselves. Let's do it. Would help us. Brilliant.
Thank you, Sue.
There's one more question. Can we just pass this over? Because we're just about to go off air. Could we... Guys, you have to stand up because I can't see you too well.
This is
Please stand
Izetta.
up. I got you.
Suleiman Jean. We don't hear you. No.
No, we have a problem with the microphone. Could we please pass
Perfect,
the
yeah,
microphone?
it's okay now.
Super.
First of all, on what I've talked about the relation between the whole trainer and jockey. I've been in the horse racing business industry since 15 years as a consultant, bloodstock agent. We're also managing breeding and racing stables, mainly for Middle East clients. So I'll give you two examples. There was like a big Group 1 race, and unfortunately the horse didn't run well. So I was really surprised that the trainer tried to find who is to blame, and the jockey was also saying, this is not my fault. When you have such owners as sheikhs or prince, you cannot have that attitude. So I spoke to the trainer and to the jockey, and I said, when we win together. When we lose together.
Good one. Love it.
Secondly, another example, I was really impressed, and we talk about attitude, respect. I mean, we are not here to patronize the young ones because we've been there. I mean, I love having fun, but when it's professional, it has to be professional. So we had a client from Middle East who wanted a top American jockey. So what I've done, I went to the statistic, and that year it was Castellano. I never met him, never saw him. I only spoke with his agent. And I mean, thank God we were both insomniacs, so we were contacting each other very quickly. So Castellano came, and I was really impressed by his attitude. The first thing that he has done, he thanked the owner for choosing him. He was very polite, always positive. Unfortunately, the horse didn't run well, but then he took the time that even after the race, they analyzed together, the owner, the trainer, and the jockey race. And if he did make a mistake, he would admit it. Maybe I should have done that or done this. So I think for all of the jockey, apprentice, or amateur that were here yesterday, I really loved the session. I learned myself a lot.
and the session with Julie Crown. I thought I spoke a lot, but I found my master. Julie said something very important yesterday. You have to pay attention to each individual. I agree with Melissa. We can have a lot of informal conversation. I've met wonderful young people. I could even name them. I could even say what their profession, where they come from. I've met Corey, I've met Christina, I've met Beatrix, I've met Jada for years, Cherise. So we are here also to share experience. So Julie said something important, so pay attention. I'm working with top jockeys, but I know that I will follow each of the person that I've mentioned through years to years. I'll be happy of their success. If I can help them, I will be there. Then when you said something important, think about, you have to have a long-term vision. Then what I've learned from Ana Velasquez, you don't have to have a lot of means to bring quality. Then Richie said something important. It's not because you have bad results in the beginning that you have to quit. You can learn from your mistakes and you have to have the determination. And then Melissa said something important. You are athletes. You have to reach for excellence. So if we can help you, we are here. There was 20 years ago when I was your age, I was very, very shy. But we have to work on we all have qualities, but we all have the things that we have to work on. Everything can be changed if you want to improve.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. And one final question. I love listening to you. We have time for one question.
I have a question for doctor.
Oh. Okay. Hello.
Can you give mic for doctor and then you can
speak. Oh.
Go on.
Exactly. It should be.
You should be last? Okay. We will keep it to the end.
Just final question. Sir, would you please stand up and give us your name and your question, please?
First of all, okay.
This is Juan from Argentina.
Yes, I'm Juan from
Argentina.
Argentina.
Sorry about last night. Brazil 3, Argentina 0.
I don't care. I don't care. Well, first of all, thank you, Lara and Sheikh Mansoor Festival for taking care of our jockeys as anyone has done before. We think that your job is great. Today we talk about making good people, good students, and we are sure that every school take care of the human being first, and then it comes the good jockey. We also talk about the media. Every school teach how to face the cameras and how to talk to the cameras to every jockey. But something really important is that there are lots of them who come from tiny villages or town, and it's unusual to have a microphone on its hands or a camera, and it's really hard for them. It's like a journalist had to ride a horse, and it wouldn't be the same. Another thing
what is your point, sir, please? Could you
what
just
is
give
your
us a question?
No, we'd like to talk about the funding that the woman from France said. Yesterday we talked about that.
Yes, you gave me a paper, but still
Yes.
I have to look into it.
Yes, I know.
It will take a little time because it's a bit,
Okay.
maybe you didn't express yourself too much in the paper because it was a little confusing for me.
Okay. In that paper, in that project we gave you, there's a way that each country would be responsible for each jockeys or each country's jockeys, and if it is necessary, then other countries would have support the others who need much another amount of money.
Sir, thank you very much indeed for making that point. We will take that further. What's the final question for the doc? Go on, you've got a question for the doc. What is it?
It's from all of us, doctor.
Yes. Here it is.
It's been 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
We are coming to the National Archive. National Archive is the biggest institution that is archiving most of the world things with the United Arab Emirates. We're so proud that the National Archive also has got the highest recognition awards from Europe.
Here.
Yes.
Well done. Brilliant.
So now my question to you, what will the National Archive suggest or come with an initiative for all the friends of Sheikh Mansoor Festival for next year?
No, that's easy. That's easy. That's easy. That was my last question to you. Well, first of all, usually at this time, I am with my family all to get together for lunch once a week. And I sacrifice that for all the friends and families of Sheikh Mansoor here. It's worth it. I was thinking that, you know, we had 7th conference last year in Rome.
Yes.
Yes.
This conference was in Rome,
Okay.
and this is the 2nd conference, which is always staying at the National
Okay,
Archive.
we come to these conferences, we have so many talks, we have so many papers, we discuss a lot. Is there any publication of all of these conferences put into one publication so everybody
In the
will
book
be
of Sheikh Mansoor Festival.
as a reference? No,
Yes.
I mean the talks here that we talked. Did anybody write down all these talks?
Recommendations. It will
Yeah.
come up in the papers after tomorrow.
No, I don't want in the paper. I want as a publication, documented every word we uttered, every idea we spelled, in that publication, you know. And then this publication will be online and will be sent to all jockeys, trainers, everyone involved in this conference. And we are ready to print these and publish.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. This is what we wanted. See?
You are
always
stuck.
look to the future, and you have, don't forget the past.
Don't forget the past.
Because who doesn't know the past will not know even his future. This is the words of our father, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan and Nahyan.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. I hope you enjoyed the workshop. From all of us in Abu Dhabi,
Yes, from one capital, your second home, Abu Dhabi, we can say to all of you, prepare yourself for a great fashion night tonight. Be all fashionable.
Wow.
Because you will be extremely glamoured with fashion tonight.
Sounds good
so
to me.
we will meet you in Beach Rotana. Thank you. And best thanks goes to all of our sponsors, all our partners, and especially great thank you to you, Doctor, because you've given us a lot these 4 days. You've supported us 4 days. And even when you did not come, you came for a minute, took a picture and go, and we know how busy you are. We really thank you from all of us. From all the 800 guests of Sheikh Mansoor Festival in Abu Dhabi, thank you. Thank you for all your team. And we tell you, we will give you a hard time next year.
She will. From the National Archives. Bye-bye.